Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Marjorie?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Hi. So can you see me as well?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you have your Millionaire Real Estate Agent books? Do you have your books?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll get a little more interactive with this as we go. I wanted to try it this morning because even though I've been on them, I've never hosted them before. And what I want to do is talk about how we'll get through the book and then what resources I'll give you along the way. So my book that I have is a kind of a bound, tagged copy of it, right? And one thing that they told us in leadership was that if you start a book and you have too many pages assigned, that the agents won't stay up and read and they'll feel guilty and then they won't show up. And so I thought about that of making the reading less. But what I want to do is actually just go along with the cliff notes with the advised reading. And then if we end up feeling like it's too much, we can shorten it. I'll record it so that you guys can play it back if you want to. And then, like say you didn't read it and it was the morning of, you can still kind of skim through, listen, and get the highlights. So I think it'll be okay. You guys agree with that? I'm going to take that as a yes. You guys might be on mute. So if you open up your Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, here's what we're going to do the first week. So I'm not going to have expected you to read yet today, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about the book. And then our first reading assignment will be due next week on Thursday. We'll talk about the content. So what you're going to do is, your skills and understanding, and there's 14 sessions, and it'll give you topics each time for 14 sessions. So if you open up your book and you read, let me see what page it is here. Your table of contents on page 15, and you get into the preface, page 21. Then you'll get to 25, the introduction. So those are important that you read those. Really, Gary will talk about the big why behind what drives us. So if you guys have taken Bold, we talk about that a lot in there. And really what happens is the career of being a realtor, there's a lot of struggles along the way. There's a lot of things that we could do. Sometimes we'll feel like we're working really hard and working a lot of hours. And sometimes you're just in it to help that client, and that's okay. But there's a lot of things you could do in your life to help people. And as you get through this book, it'll go back. You'll hear this in a lot of other content, but Gary really goes back to this all the time of what's the reason that drives you. It might start out as I just want to help people, and then sometimes it'll go past that for yourself or help others even past buying and selling homes. So your overview, like basically your first reading is going to be pages 1 through page 46. So if you guys will turn to page 46. Can you see that? I'm just going to assume you guys are muted because I'm hoping you can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I was muted.
No, that's good. I just want to make sure I haven't been talking silently. So you see page 46 is your overview of your reading. So every time we read, there'll be a bit of an overview there that you can get the basics of the chapter. I do want you to read it. So this first assignment, 0 through 46, an introduction, is going to talk about just your mission of the book and of your career. And it's going to talk about the models and the main concepts as we go in. And then what I'll do, if you guys want me to, is send you a chart of what the assignments will be in the Cliff Notes. It's not really assignments, it's just which part we're going to be reading and what we'll be talking about. And then in 14 sessions, so how much is that? Like less than 3 months, we'll have the book read. And as we get back into some of the big concepts, we'll really have some good conversations around that. So have you guys, anybody that can talk right now, have you read it? Oh, am I still here?
Can you hear
You're
me?
here. I haven't read it.
So,
Me
Being
neither.
honest,
okay, so Marjorie, you're saying you have not read it?
I have not.
And Nikki, what about you? She might be on mute. I kind of
Hey,
automatic.
sorry.
That's
No, I'm driving and watching this video at the same time. So no, I haven't.
Okay, great. So this is perfect, you guys, because it's really not so daunting. What I'll do is a 30-minute call each week. We'll just go over the content of the pages. We will discuss a couple of the concepts. I'll help you tie it into what you're doing daily and where your systems are within your KW systems. I may even throw in a little bit of, Ninja overlay. And then I want you to as well get through the whole course and make sure your systems are in place, because the book is really a business model. That's what the book is. So let's say we're talking about, I don't know, marketing. And then during that session, either as a follow-up to that session or as we discuss that part, I want to get you some clear ideas on how to market, how to grow your businesses through the models and systems that are in the book. And you'll come out really understanding some key activities for yourself. So really today I just wanted to do a quick introduction. We can, look through the book if you want to, but I would say take the book, look at your table of contents, okay? And that's on page 15. What he's going to be talking about is part 1, charting the course. So by the time we get into the content next week, you're going to just really have given yourself an introduction. And then we're going to go through some myths of, oh, I heard this a lot in bold. That's not me. That didn't sound like me. I'm not sure that's how I feel, which is all fine. But we'll have some common myths that I don't know if I can do it, basically. And it'll ask you some questions. Gary Keller, who's the author, really has encouraged us to have bigger thinking than we do, most of us. And then, I know some of you on the call, because I know who you are, do think big. And you're ready to figure out how to go from today to where your thoughts know you can go. So whether you're somewhere in between, it's fine. Like if you look on page 15 and it says myth number 1, I can't do it. Well, we'll all have some of those limiting beliefs. Some days I say I just can't do it. But it's really basically other people have done it. It can be done. How do I know it could be done? They'll always give the example of the 4-minute mile where it was said it couldn't be done until it was. Then all of a sudden people could do it. So going from selling no houses to maybe 10 houses to, to a month or something consistently, we know that can be done because we see evidence of other people doing it. It could even be done while you're working somewhere else. We've seen evidence of people doing that. So then it's how. Once you get the why, you got to start with the why. So that's what your first series part will be about. And it's not the actual to-do list yet. So that'll be those of you that are overachievers or want to read ahead. I'll give you you can look through the table of contents and say, okay, so we're going to start with, you'll be interested to see, even if you've read it before, oh, wow, it really does go back to the foundation. And then we'll build on it each week. And so if you guys are cool, I'll see that you're in here. I'll email out the kind of the cliff notes, what pages we're reading and when, the schedule. I'll do it every Thursday morning at 8:30. If you guys want to come into the Market Center, so we're in person and have a discussion, we can do that. We can also have a discussion on here. You could be on the video if you want to be, or not on it if you don't want to be. I don't have any feelings one way or the other for you guys. I think it's fun if we can see each other. However, some people don't. Some people are shy.
You don't want to see me today.
So you guys, anybody not have a book? I would have given you all the book, right?
Yes.
Yes, I have one.
So what I'd like you to do is read pages 1 through 46. And I'm keeping today's call short just to introduce you. I didn't want to go too far in because maybe you would feel insecure that you didn't read it. You're going to open the book. You're going to look through, see the table of contents and see what's through page 146. Really, I'm sorry, 46. 1 through 46. And it won't be too much concepts there. It'll be real easy for me to do a 30-minute call on that tomorrow. Your ahas, your thoughts, your questions, anything you guys want to do, I'd love to be interactive. And then past that, every week on Thursday, we'll do this. And then I'll record it so that you can play it back in case you're not available.
Cool. Awesome.
Everybody sound good to you? And then, if this takes off and you like it, then I'll do another book afterwards, after this. I just think there's so many foundations in here. When I became team leader, I went through this long interview process to do it, and I had to go through some things with our career visioning, we call it. And then I came in and one of the first things I did with the Agent Leadership Council, and they raised their hand and went, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And I said, what am I talking about? Talking about the 4 models. And they said, no one's ever talked to us about that before. And I realized that there was just no real knowledge of the millionaire real estate agent. And if you guys will go to later on in a different level of your business, lots of the bigger businesses around the country will go back to this content. Gary still studies it. It's going to tie into your command. So I'll probably throw some command concepts in as we go. Another thing, if you guys aren't aware of the 66-day challenge, where there's a little short video to help you grow your command every day, get clear on that. So when I post your MREA stuff, I'll give you a link to that also so that I can help you tie the two together. There's just a few things that we'll get in alignment so that at the end of the 14 weeks, my vision is that you'll have some big ahas along the way.
Thank you, Anna.
Okay, guys, so I'll see you next week at 8:30, page 1 through 46.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, see you then.